Does the Backrooms movie need to be rated R? Well, let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake. Today we have some really exciting horror updates to get into, but before we do all of that, please make sure to like this video and subscribe for more update videos just like this. I want to thank our latest Patreon supporter, Aliska Duchikova, for supporting the page. Thank you for keeping the lights on around here, and make sure to check out the uncut versions of the Dexter reaction videos. Thank you to everybody who supports the page. Now let's get into the news. I oftentimes credit the movie Hereditary from 2018 for why I started this page in the first place. I saw the movie 7 times during its opening weekend. It left that much of an impact on me, and nobody wanted to talk about it with me or go to the theater to see it. Now I have almost 40,000 people to talk horror with, and my heart is full of love and scares. Millie Shapiro is an actress who plays a very big role in the film. One might say mind-blowing, but she hasn't appeared in a film since 2018. That's going to change very soon. We just got our first look at Millie Shapiro in the post-apocalyptic horror flick HALLOWARRIOR. The Charlie Graham actress stars as Pumpkin, a Halloween-obsessed post-apocalypse survivor who thinks she's the last person alive. But when a vicious band of scavengers shows up at her doorstep on All Hallows Eve, Pumpkin has no choice but to tap into her deadliest survival instincts. This is the first feature from writer-director Ben Sodick, based on his 2021 short film Scavenger. HALLOWARRIOR will premiere at Tribeca Film Festival on June 10th, and as of right now, no one has picked up the flick for distribution. Hopefully that changes soon. Millie is a phenomenal actress, and I can't wait to see more of her in the horror genre, especially with a movie like this that sounds really unique. Later on this week, you guys are going to see a review of HOKUM from Old Jake, a movie that I am highly anticipating. Cannot wait for more Damian McCarthy. And if you're in the same boat as me, you're probably wondering what's next after HOKUM. Mr. Damian McCarthy himself has recently talked about that in a brand new interview. Chatting with Polygon, Damian McCarthy talked a bit about what his next film is going to be all about, saying, "I definitely want to make one more out-and-out horror film just to see if I can take everything I've learned and apply it. Something's kind of clicked with me now. If I was to do it again, I'd put everything into it, and then I think I'd move on." I really hope that doesn't mean you're done making horror flicks, man. I need a good slow burn horror in my life every now and then. He continues talking about his potential fourth feature, saying, "It's self-contained, almost like a classic haunted house movie. Somebody just cannot leave a property." I think there's something really fun about that. Now, the way that he's wording all of this is really interesting to me, because this description sounds a lot like his first feature, Caveat. A guy who literally can't leave a property because he's chained to it and finds out some spooky shit is going on there. Does Damian McCarthy plan on remaking his first feature, maybe with a more star-studded cast and a higher budget? I wouldn't necessarily call it a detriment to Caveat, his first movie, that it's low budget. You can tell from watching it, but that's actually something that adds to the charm of the flick, in my opinion. Would I love to see Adam Scott starring in that movie, though, just like how I'm so excited to see him in HOKUM coming up, or someone equivocally talented? Yeah, I mean, I would totally want to see that movie, but at the same time, I love Caveat as it stands. It's likely that this is some sort of original project, but it just sounds so similar to Caveat, I couldn't help but make that comparison. Bringing it back to the present though, HOKUM drops on May 1st, which is literally this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more days and then we get to see this one. Are you excited for HOKUM? I know I am. That witch looks scary as fuck. Zach Cregger's Resident Evil has officially gotten its own website and new logo. With all of this dropping now, it's likely that we'll see the first trailer for Zach Cregger's Resident Evil any time now. The new flick, based on the popular horror video game IP that arrives on September 18th of this year, follows Austin Abrams as Brian. He's a medical courier who has to deliver some sort of package to Raccoon City Hospital. Sadly, he has to do this amidst a zombie outbreak where multiple different creatures are trying to rip him to shreds. Now, the flick has been in some hot water from some certain Resident Evil fans who aren't necessarily loving the things that Zach Cregger is saying about the flick. The Weapons and Barbarian director talked about his controversial approach, saying, "I'm definitely not trying to be completely obedient to the lore of the games. I'm trying to tell a story that just feels authentic to the experience you get when you play the games." So it seems like this is Zach Cregger's unique original take on Resident Evil, so we might not get any quips from Leon Kennedy, but maybe we'll get some frozen liquors. We'll definitely be getting some action in the flick as Zach Cregger co-wrote this one with Shay Hatton, who was also one of the writers on John Wick's 3 and 4. It might even be a little campy too, because those last two John Wick movies were pretty damn silly as well. Look, it's a new horror movie from Zach Cregger. Love the approach or not, it's probably gonna be something pretty damn good. Zach Cregger is easily one of the hottest horror directors in the space right now. I think Weapons and Barbarian are two of the very best horror flicks to come out this decade. Whatever he does next, I'm there day one. Now, if you're excited for more Zach Cregger projects, he's got two big ones on the way. Later on in 2028, we're going to see the Weapons prequel film Gladys that will follow Amy Madigan's Oscar award-winning character, baby, before the events of the 2025 film. The movie I'm the most excited for, though, coming from Zach Cregger that he's going to write and direct, is a movie called The Flood. This one drops on August 11th of 2028 and is a space thriller. Dread Central exclusively reports that the film follows a deep space captain who leads her crew to investigate a cryptic signal from a distant world, only to uncover an alien artifact that warps time, reality, and their sanity, forcing them into a confrontation with an incomprehensible intelligence. It sounds a lot like a mix of Alien and that third Cloverfield film that everybody forgot about. Either way, this is a totally different project for Zach Cregger, a guy who so far has made two very suburban horror flicks. People can hear you scream in suburbia, not so much in outer space. The Backrooms movie, coming out in about a month now, has been rated R for language and some violent content / bloody images. Now this is really interesting because Backrooms is a movie that probably could have gone down the PG-13 route, maybe accrued a bigger audience going down that route so that more people of different ages could come and see this one in the theater, but that's not necessarily the direction they're going. I'm not saying that Kane Parsons should have made a jump scare Blumhouse movie, but Backrooms falls into one of the more popular horror subgenres at the moment, liminal space, something that's really popular with the younger audience. You would almost think they would strive for that PG-13 rating for that reason alone. I don't think this is necessarily going to hurt the film. I mean, this movie is building a lot of steam, especially with a new audience. You know, the people that love Backrooms from the YouTube series, they're gonna show up no matter what. But now I'm hearing people like my dad talk about it who would probably not have an interest in this before the movie was coming out. It's a very fresh concept. We haven't gotten a whole lot of movies that hit on this idea of like being trapped in an infinite space with a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of disgusting yellow buzzing lights and probably a damp smell. That's a very specific kind of horror. You don't necessarily need a big slasher villain or a creepy monster running around the backrooms to make it scary, but I still hope we get some sort of monster in this movie, fingers crossed. Speaking of which, there's a really interesting theory going around the internet right now regarding the new movie and how it connects to one of Kane Parsons' established short films. Now, if you watch Backrooms Found Footage number 3 over on Kane Parsons' YouTube channel, this one starts off with something really unique. A guy wakes up to find out that his back door, made out of glass, has been shattered, something has broken through the walls of his home and escaped. He ends up no-clipping into the backrooms where he is specifically chased by some sort of entity on the other side. The ending of the short, though, is probably the scariest thing about the entire Backroom series, at least in my opinion. The dude actually finds a wall where he can hear people on the other side, who are in the real world, not in the backrooms. So it implies that whatever broke into his house somehow transferred from the backrooms into the real world. Now, upon digging deeper into all of this, there's some sort of bacteria that is growing in the backrooms that the government is experimenting on and trying to learn more about. This is allegedly what the monster from the first Backrooms Found Footage short is. Could the bacteria monsters from the backrooms be breaking into the real world, and could that be what this movie is kind of all about? Or maybe just the simple horror of the backrooms realm merging with our world. Everyone's trapped in the backrooms forever. Some Backrooms fans are claiming that Kane Parsons actually confirmed that this theory is legit at Comic-Con this past year. So you might want to check out all of the Backrooms Found Footage videos over on Kane Parsons' YouTube channel before getting into this movie. I think there's going to be more tie-ins than we even know. The story that has me the most excited, however, is Curry Barker talking about one of his upcoming projects, his new Texas Chainsaw Massacre reimagining. Making his first public statements about the project, Curry Barker said, "I love the original. I think that one is really raw and was really good for its time. And I actually think the 2003 remake is actually quite good too, but it could also be there's a nostalgia there." A lot of people are excited about the reboot, but a lot of people are like, put this thing to bed, it's all been done. I beg to differ. Seriously, I really think that the potential for that series has not been fully realized. I actually feel like a lot of the remakes went the opposite direction than it should have gone. I'm really excited to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre that's not just about a guy chasing people around with a chainsaw, that has some heart to it. You care about these characters and want to see them survive, and it's brutal. I love when you get a creative on one of your favorite horror franchises that just is saying all the right things. If you're gonna make a new continuation in any horror franchise, I think you need to look back on what's already been done and try to find a way to go down a fresh avenue. Looking back on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, there really hasn't been that many great protagonists outside of like Stretch from TCM2, maybe Jessica Biel from the 2003 movie. I hesitate to say Alexandria Daddario.
Do your thing, cuz.
I think the most notable performances from the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise has definitely been family members and or Leatherfaces.
Looky here.
Oh my God,
We
Morgan.
got ourselves a killer.
Can we get some protagonists that we actually fall in love with and care about when they get chopped into bits? I also hope that Curry Barker doesn't characterize Leatherface as just another Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees. Leatherface is a much more complicated slasher than that. Especially in the 1974 movie, I feel like Leatherface is characterized as, well, not really all there, but does have some insane brute strength. His family manipulates him, knowing all of that about the guy, and that's how they're able to put food on the table. Movies like the 2022 Netflix movie are fun for what they are, but I feel like they totally miss the point of what works about Leatherface. He isn't a Michael Myers. He isn't a Jason Voorhees that just runs around and chops people up. A Texas Chainsaw Massacre without a family isn't necessarily a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Family.
It's kind of just a chainsaw-wielding slasher at that point, which is something different, I would argue. I really hope that Curry Barker gives us a return to form that also feels very modern. If it were me in charge of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would once again do a 70s period piece, kind of like the 2003 remake, just taking the story down a different route. There are so many things commentary-wise about that original 74 film that I feel still ring true today. Putting a modern lens on the original could be a really fresh way to continue the franchise onward while still keeping it brutal and psychologically terrifying. I feel like Curry has essentially confirmed a lot of my theories about what he's going to do with this upcoming flick with this latest interview as well. I've seen a lot of Curry Barker horror stuff at this point, and his horror MO is typically, let's start in a really familiar place, something that people have definitely seen before, and spiral it out of control into unpredictable territory. Milk and Cereal is easily the best example of this. It's a movie about YouTube pranksters trying to prank each other, but things go wrong. You can definitely think of a few influencer horror movies that fall into that same setup. Milk and Cereal, though, throws some crazy twists at you that changes the story entirely with how it goes forward. His next film after that, Anything But Ghosts, sounds really similar to that as well. You have these paranormal investigators who are totally faking it, bro, who end up encountering real ghosts, a setup I've seen before in many other movies, but will likely go down some different places, and I know his Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is likely going to start just like the original film. Bunch of young people in a van driving down the road, their van breaks down and they encounter the Sawyer family, but then things take a turn. Whatever that turn ends up being, that's what I'm looking forward to in whatever Curry Barker's Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be, baby. That was a whole lot of exciting horror updates. Which one had you the most terrified? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.